The fear in Acaba did not fade with the sunrise. If anything, it grew stronger. Mothers no longer allowed their children to wander. Fathers sharpened their tools, not for farming, but for protection. The once lively paths of the village became quiet, heavy with tension. Even the birds seemed to sing less, as if they too sensed that something unnatural had taken hold of the land. At the center of this fear stood Abodo. But this time, even he felt the weight of uncertainty. Before dawn, he entered his shrine alone. No followers, no elders. Just him and the spirits he had served his entire life. The air inside was thick with the scent of burnt herbs and sacred oils. Carved symbols covered the walls, each one representing a connection to the ancestors. Abodo knelt. "This is beyond the ordinary," he murmured. "Reveal the truth to me." He began his ritual slowly, chanting, drawing symbols in white chalk, placing offerings at the foot of the shrine. The fire flickered strangely, as if reacting to something unseen. Then the wind came. But there was no opening for wind to enter. The flames stretched unnaturally, bending toward the doorway. The ground beneath him vibrated slightly. Abodo's voice grew louder, stronger, commanding. "Show yourself!" For a brief moment, everything went still. Then he saw it. Not with his eyes, but within his spirit. A lion. Massive, dark. Its body was not entirely flesh. It shifted like smoke and shadow. Its eyes burned with a deep, ancient anger. But what disturbed Abodo the most was not its size or its power. It was the chain. Wrapped tightly around its neck was a spiritual chain, glowing faintly with markings he recognized. This beast was bound, controlled. Abodo's eyes snapped open. "This is no wild creature," he whispered. "Someone sent it." Outside, the sun had risen, but the light brought no comfort. The elders gathered again under the iroko tree, their faces more desperate than before. "Tell us what you have seen," one demanded. Abodo stood before them, his expression darker than ever. "This lion is not just a beast. It is a weapon." The elders murmured among themselves. "A weapon?" another asked. "Yes," Abodo continued. "It is tied to a powerful force, and someone is controlling it." Silence fell. "Who would do such a thing?" a woman cried. Abodo hesitated. "There are only a few who possess such power," he said slowly. "And none of them are strangers to this land." The meaning of his words settled heavily on everyone. "This means," an elder began. "Yes," Abodo said. "The danger is not only outside the village." Fear turned into suspicion. Neighbors began to look at each other differently. Trust started to crack. Whispers spread faster than fire in dry grass. It could be anyone. What if it is someone among us? Who has that kind of power? That same night, Abodo prepared himself, not for a ritual, but for a confrontation. He covered his body with sacred markings, each symbol glowing faintly under the moonlight. Around his neck hung charms that had been passed down through generations of priests. In his hand, he held his staff, not just as a symbol of authority, but as a weapon of spiritual force. "I will find it," he said quietly, "and I will end it." The forest beyond Acaba stood like a wall of darkness. No one dared to enter it at night. It was a place where stories were born. Stories of spirits, lost souls, and things that were never meant to be seen. But Abodo stepped into it without hesitation. The deeper he went, the quieter the world became. No insects, no wind, just silence. Then, a sound, a low growl. It echoed through the trees, deep and unnatural. Abodo stopped. His grip tightened on his staff. "I know you are here," he said firmly. The growl came again, louder this time. And then, two glowing eyes appeared in the darkness. Slowly, the creature stepped forward. The lion was even more terrifying than the vision had shown. Its body moved like a living shadow, shifting between solid and smoke. The chain around its neck glowed brighter now, pulsing with energy. The ground beneath it seemed to react to its presence. Abodo stood his ground. "You do not belong here," he said, his voice steady. The lion let out a roar that shook the forest. But it did not attack. Instead, it circled him, watching, waiting, as if it recognized something or someone. Abodo's eyes narrowed. "This is not just a hunt," he whispered. "This is a message." And somewhere, far beyond the forest, hidden in the darkness where no one could see, someone was watching, controlling, waiting for the moment when fear would finally break the village of Acaba.